Hello and welcome to Shining Waters Yoga. I realize that I have never recorded a chair class on my YouTube channel, and I teach chair frequently. So I wanted to just record a beginner chair class today for those of you that might be interested in chair yoga. I do have a full series, a 10 class series on chair yoga available for purchase on my website. And you get to keep the entire series that works you through better balance, chair yoga for better balance. So if you're interested in going further with this class, I highly recommend that you check it out. It's at shiningwatersyoga.com. But for today's class, goes without saying you'll need a chair. It doesn't have to be any kind of special expensive chair. I use when I teach a simple metal folding chair. You can get these at your local hardware store for around $10 or even at Walmart. I'm not trying to advertise any particular business, but you can find these pretty much, easily anywhere. And it's not a big purchase. Some people may want to use a chair that has arm support to help them get up and down if you need it. If you don't need that support, better to have something that allows you to move freely. I will do one movement at the end where we turn to the side. And so if you're able to do that, it's great to have that. If not, don't worry. I'll give you a modification for that. You don't need any special props. You'll see that I have my chair on a yoga mat on a rug, and mainly that's so it doesn't slip. So do make sure that you're on a surface where your chair is not going to slide. If you are taking this class from a walker, please make sure that your wheels are locked so that you're not moving. And you don't need a block, but I will demo something with a block, one stretch, a way that you can use your block. So if you have these, they can be helpful just to bring the floor a little closer. And the last thing is if you have a blanket, any kind of blanket or beach towel, I will give a stretch with that as well. You can just set that aside for now. And again, if you don't have it, no worries. Let's go ahead and get started. So one more thing about the chair, actually. The nice thing, and these metal chairs pretty much work, but again, it's going to depend on the length of your legs. Ideally, we don't want the knees higher than our hips. We want them to be in line with, or really ideally a little bit lower than our hips. So you could adjust your seat by putting a pad underneath, or if you typically sit on a pad, feel free to bring that with you. And that will help you get the right height so that we don't have the knees above our hips, which contracts these muscles. Also, you want your feet to be able to reach the floor. So again, this is another place where that folded blanket is really handy. If you have shorter legs and your feet don't touch the floor, you can place a blanket under your feet and make sure they touch the floor. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Do note that if you have a metal chair like mine, there is a tendency to slide forward and back on it if you're in slippery pants, slippery fabric. So it is nice to have a little blanket or something underneath to support you. We'll begin in seated mountain pose, or Tadasana, as we say in yoga. And seated mountain is with the feet and knees in line with your hips. So we don't want them wide apart just yet. We may do that for a later posture. This is going to be our foundation. We're going to set our foundation and center here, and we'll continue to come back to this seated posture with both feet on the floor. You can actually press down through your feet and feel how that lifts you up a little bit higher, a little bit straighter, resting your hands in your lap. Take a moment to relax through your shoulders. And then let's check in. So I invite you to close your eyes. If that's not comfortable for you, you can just soften your gaze. But see if you can feel how you're sitting. And notice if you're rounding or slumping in your lower back. And if you are, again, you might want to work to tilt the pelvis a little bit forward, lengthen through your spine, and lift up from your sitting bones all the way to the crown of your head. You could imagine a little string lifting you up from the back of your head, letting you be nice and tall. And another string, I like to say a string right from the sternum, lifting you up so that we're not rounding from the shoulders, we're not rounding in the lower back. And then just kind of check and see if your weight feels even from side to side. And as you come to your most upright and alert posture, begin to find your breath. Feel your body breathing and notice your natural pace of breath. If you like, you can place a hand on your belly and one on your chest. And see if you feel the breath more present in your belly or in your chest, or is there a difference? Do you notice a difference? And begin to see, as you take a breath in, if you can feel the breath all the way down to the bottom part of your lungs. So as your diaphragm presses downward, the belly expands. And as the diaphragm expands, the belly softens, pushing the breath out of the lungs. So just be present with the rhythm of your breath for a few rounds here and see if you can begin to find an evenness between your inhale and your exhale. If it's helpful, you can count the breath. So if you breathe in, count 1, 2, 3, or 4. And as you exhale, see if you can exhale for that same count. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Now your count might be 3 or might be 5. You don't have to make it the same as mine, and you don't want to force anything. Just see if you can find an evenness in the flow of your breath. And breathe in and out through your nose. I'm not sure if I said that. So breathe in and out through your nose if possible, unless you've got a cold or for some reason an obstruction there. This is going to set the pace for your practice because we're going to be moving with the breath when we're moving, and then we may hold a few postures. But this is going to set the pace and tone. So know throughout this practice that you're going to move at your own pace. You don't have to follow mine. You can stop anytime you need a break. You never want to go to the point of pain or strain in any movement. So take care of you. Keep in mind any physical health challenges you might be dealing with. Definitely listen to your doctor or physical therapist if you've been given guidance on any movements to avoid. And always check with your healthcare provider before you begin an exercise program. So at the end of your next exhale, go ahead and release your hands into your lap, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. And you can blink your eyes open. And we're going to begin to move with that same pace of breath that we established. Let's bring the hands together at the heart. We'll start to warm up our shoulders a little bit. So as you inhale, start to reach the arms overhead. Maybe you can straighten the elbows, maybe not. And as you exhale, draw your lower ribs in a little bit. So notice as you reach up, you might start to arch your back. Try to draw your lower ribs in. Take another breath in, maybe reach a little taller, rooting down through your feet. And then exhale and bring the arms all the way down to your lap. Inhale, shrug your shoulders up to your ears. And exhale and release. And here you can sigh it out through your mouth. It feels good to do that. So anytime throughout the practice you want to do that, take a nice sigh breath. Bring your hands back to your heart. Again, we'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. Pause at the top of the breath. Exhale the arms down. Rest them in your lap. Take an in-breath to shrug your shoulders. Exhale to release. Let's do that one more time. Bringing the hands to the heart. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. And exhale, take the arms down to the sides. Bring the hands back to your, or let's do the shrugs. Inhale, shrug your shoulders. And exhale, release. So let's actually leave the hands in the lap. We're gonna take the hands to your knees. We're gonna come into a little bit of a cat-cow movement here. So sliding the palms of your hands back to your hip creases where your thighs meet your hips. Draw your shoulders and your elbows back and lift from your sternum. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're gonna slide the hands forward to the knees and draw your navel to your spine. Inhale to draw your hands back, lift your sternum away from your navel. Then exhale, slide your hands forward and draw your navel in. We'll do this a couple more times, moving with your breath. Inhale, slide the hands back, lift from your sternum. Exhale, slide your hands forward, draw your navel in, and feel that contraction. It's good to contract that muscle as we start to strengthen our abdominal muscles. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, slide the hands back, elbows back, shoulders back. Lift the sternum away from the navel. And exhale and slide your hands forward and draw your navel in towards your spine. And then release back to center, keeping your hands resting. We're gonna do a little more movement here. So as you inhale, we're gonna take the right arm up overhead. You can turn the palm inwards, reaching the fingertips to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bring that arm down, turn your head to the left. Start to get into the neck now. Inhale, come back to center and lift your left arm up, fingertips to the ceiling. And notice here, if you've got any shoulder issues, you may have to take the arm out to the side a little bit. That's okay. Exhale, bring that arm down and turn your head to the right. We're going to continue to alternate like that. Inhale, bring your head back to center, reach the right arm up. You could also just take the right arm out in front of you if you don't want to lift up higher. Exhale that arm down, turn your head to the left. Inhale, come back to center, left arm rises. Exhale, that arm comes back down, turn your head to the right. Again, inhale to center, right arm lifts. Exhale, that arm comes down, turn your head to the left. Inhale, come back to center, left arm rises. And exhale that arm down, turn your head to the right. And then releasing your head back to the center, relax the arms down. If you have a block, you can place it to your side. We're going to come into a side bend. So one way to do this is place your right hand in your lap. I'm going to internally rotate my shoulder. So rather than reach my arm up like this, where I externally rotate, putting more pressure on my shoulder, I'm going to internally rotate. So beginning by leaning to your right, stretching the left side of your waist, internally rotate that left shoulder, reach your arm over your ear, and open your chest to the front of the room. So make sure you're not caving your chest down towards the floor. Take a deep breath here. If this is too much on your shoulder, again, you could just leave the arm down and reach the fingers away. Inhale, come all the way back up. Left hand will rest on your lap, or you could also let it come down to the side. We're going to start to lean to the left, stretching the right side of the body. So it can be helpful to hold on to your leg here. And then sweep that right arm over your ear, taking the internal rotation of your shoulder. As you exhale, maybe you're able to stretch a little bit deeper. You can always leave the arm out or even reach it away. And inhale, come all the way back up. So we'll do that a couple more times, and I'm going to give you some other options. If you're able, if you have a little more range of motion, you want to go deeper, you could have a block here. You could even have two blocks, a block stacked on a block. In fact, let me go ahead and do that just to demonstrate. So that will lift it up a little bit higher. You can place your hand to that block. And as we lean to the right, sweep that left arm over your ear. Just make sure you don't put a lot of pressure on your hand, your wrist, especially if you have arthritis. Root down through your feet. Maybe turn your head to gaze upward if it's okay with your neck. If not, just look forward. Inhale, come all the way back to center. We'll do that on the other side. I'll demo with just one block. So hand to the block, hand to your thigh, or hand dangling from the side. We're going to sweep that right arm over the ear, leaning to the left, taking a little side bend. Breathe in. Maybe look up to the sky, or just straight ahead, whatever's appropriate for your neck. Exhaling here. Inhale, come all the way back up. We'll do that one more time. So take a breath in. We're going to start to lean to the right. Exhale, sweep that arm over your ear. Maybe reach a little bit longer. Take another breath here. Notice, imagine that you're breathing into the left lungs. As you exhale, soften through the right. You might feel a little deeper stretch. Inhale, coming back to center, other side. So leaning to the left as you exhale, sweep that right arm over your ear. Inhale into the right side of your body. And exhale, soften through the left. Remember, be careful not to put too much pressure on that hand. You can always leave the hand in the lap. Inhale, come all the way back up. And we're going to circle the shoulders. So let's take the fingertips to our shoulders. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. Circle your elbows forward, up, back, and down. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, forward and up. Take your time with the movement. Exhale, back and down. Let's do that a couple more times at your own pace. And the next time the elbows come down, let's reverse the direction, going the opposite way. Down and back, up and forward. Down and back. Inhale, up and forward. Exhale, down and back. Let's do one more of those. And extend the arms out. Let's get into our fingers and our wrists. So spread your fingers wide. You might bend from the wrists and even point down. And then we're going to curl the knuckles in one at a time. Bring the fingers into your hand, make fists, and bring the fists to your shoulders. So we're bending from the elbows. Inhale, open wide, spread your fingers. Exhale, start to curl them in, make fists, fists to the shoulders. Inhale, open wide, spread your fingers. And exhale, curl those fingers in. Inhale. And exhale. Do one more time. And exhale. Inhale the arms back out. And let's go ahead and circle those wrists in one direction. You can make fists here or open hands, whatever feels better for you, whichever movement you enjoy. Should be enjoyable. And then reverse, go the opposite direction. And then shake it out. Let your hands be loose. Take a nice deep sigh breath. And then inhaling, let's open into a cactus or a field goal shape. So elbows bent, not as high as your shoulders, a little bit lower than the shoulders. Palms are forward. Take a deep breath, lifting from your sternum. And then as you exhale, we're going to rotate the palms down towards the floor. So they might become parallel to the floor. You might even be able to reach the fingertips down to the floor. Depending on your range of motion, inhale to open back up, soften through your shoulders. Exhale, fingers down. Inhale, lifting back up. And exhaling down. Inhaling, fingertips point to the sky. Exhaling fingertips down towards the floor. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, palms to your heart center. Relax the shoulders. Give your arms a little rest here. Take a deep breath. And exhale it out. Rest your hands in your lap. We're going to get a little bit more into the neck. So let's go ahead and take a breath in. As you exhale, you're going to turn your head to the right. You're going to take your left arm out to the side. Maybe keep a little bend in that elbow at first. And imagine that you're holding a platter in your left hand, turning your head to the right. Now, as you take another breath in, maybe you can reach that arm a little bit more. Feel for that. Maybe you want to keep a bend in the elbow. Take a deep breath and lift your chin a little bit. And as you exhale, take your chin down to your chest. As you inhale, lift your chin. As you exhale, take your chin to your chest. Inhale to lift your chin. Exhale the chin down toward your chest. And relax that left arm down. Gently bring your head back to center. And pause. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, turn your head to the left. Take your right arm out to the right, keeping a little bend in that elbow. Imagine holding a platter. On your next breath in, maybe you can reach that arm out a little bit more, but don't overdo it. You don't want to feel a strain in the shoulder. So fine to keep the elbow bent a little bit. On your next breath, lift your chin slightly. And exhale, take it down towards your chest. Inhale to lift your chin a little bit. And exhale, take it down towards your chest. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Release your arm down towards your lap. Inhale to bring your head back to center. Take a pause here, breathe. So we're going to get a little more to the side of the neck now, but we don't want to compress the neck. Always being really careful when you're working with the neck. So when we take this side stretch and we think about taking the ear to the shoulder, I want you to think more about taking your chin over towards your left shoulder. So think more about chin to the shoulder than ear to the shoulder. So as you do that, chin down towards the chest, you're going to feel a little length in the back of your neck. And then reaching that left hand away from you. Think about the side stretch we did earlier, similar to that. You're going to just leave your right hand in your lap for stability. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, reaching through those fingers. There's an option here to turn your thumb down and place the back of the hand behind you if you can do that comfortably without letting your shoulder fall forward. So as soon as that happens and your shoulder falls forward, we're taking that stretch out of the neck and shoulder where we want it to be. So your choice, whichever option you want here. Take a deep breath all the way up to the muscles of your neck, your upper chest, and exhale and soften here. Let's take one more breath. And we'll go to the other side. Exhale it out. Press down, or actually you can take your right hand to the side of your head, gently bring your head back to center and release your arms. So notice, pause, notice if that side of your neck feels a little bit more stretched and open. And we're gonna go the other way. So remember, instead of thinking about ear to the shoulder, think about taking your chin over towards your right shoulder. So there's a little bit of a lean and then a lengthening in the back of the neck. Reach through your right fingertips. Take a deep breath and maybe sigh it out the first time. If you like, you can stay here, or you can turn your thumb down and place the hand in the small of your back. Take a deep breath and exhale it out. One more time, breathing in all the way up to the muscles around your neck, your collarbones, and exhale and sigh it out. And release your arm down. Use your left hand to lift your head back up and relax your shoulders. Maybe doing a couple of shoulder circles, just releasing any tension there. And if it feels good, you can maybe nod your head a little bit. the head side to side. And then let's go ahead and cross our arms, holding opposite elbows with opposite hands. We're going to come into a little twist. So just warming up the muscles of the back. You're just going to twist side to side. Feeling this in the back body. And then we'll take a deeper twist. So release the arms back to center. We're going to cross the left leg over the right if you can. If not, just keep the knees close together. And imagine squeezing the knees towards each other. Otherwise, cross left leg over right. We'll take a deep breath in and reach up with the arms. And as you exhale, turn to your left. Turn your torso to your left. Keep your head in line with your torso. Your left hand's going to come behind you, right behind your left hip, or maybe even the spine. But don't overdo the stretch in this back shoulder. The right hand, the back of your right hand will come right outside your left leg. As you inhale, sit a little bit taller. And as you exhale, draw your navel to your spine. Feel the twist in the middle of your back. Take another deep breath. And exhale it out. And release back to center. We'll switch and go to the other side. Uncross your legs. Crossing the right over the left or just squeezing the knees towards each other. We'll inhale and take the arms overhead. Exhale over to the right. So we're turning the torso to the right, head in line with the torso. Right hand will come to rest behind your hip on the seat. And the left hand, the back of your left hand outside of your left leg. Inhale to lift a little bit taller. Exhale, drawing your navel into your spine. So don't force the head and the neck. If you're able to turn a little bit more, you can, but it's not about the neck. We've done our neck stretches. This is more about the back. Take another breath to lift tall. Exhaling it out. And inhale, release to center, uncross your legs. We're going to circle the upper torso now over the lower torso as we start to prepare to get into our legs a little bit more. So take a deep breath, lift from your sternum. And as you exhale, just lean forward over your legs a little bit. Feel that stretch in your lower back. Make sure you're not rounding in the lower back. And then as you inhale, we're going to take the torso over to the right and back. And as you exhale, over to the left and forward. So you're making a circle with your upper body over your lower body. Moving slowly. If you feel dizzy, of course, just stop and pause. So sometimes these circular movements can make some folks feel dizzy. The next time you come forward, let's reverse and go the opposite way. So going to the left and back as you inhale, and exhaling right and forward over your legs. Feel how your weight shifts from hip to hip as you circle forward and back. And the next time you come forward, pause here, pressing down the thighs. Inhale, come all the way back up. Take your hands behind you for a moment on the chair. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see a little bit better on your chair. Hands as far back as you can reach. And then inhale, lift your sternum. So we come into a little back bend here, like a cobra pose, Ujangasana. Breathe in, feel the stretch across your chest. It's a great way to just counter gravity. Do this. You can do this throughout the day if you're watching television or sitting at your desk, your computer. Take a moment to lift up. You could also grab your forearms. Big breath in and exhale, soften through the shoulders. Take one more breath here. Again, make sure you're not putting a lot of pressure in your hands. If you have arthritis, you don't want to do a lot of weight bearing. And then exhale and release back to center. Before we go into our legs, I want to also, as long as my chair is facing this direction, talk about forward folds. So anytime we're forward bending, we're hinging from the hips. We're not rounding from the lower back. Everybody's pelvis is a little bit different. Some people are tilted back naturally, or maybe over time they've become more tilted back, and so it's really hard to bend forward without putting pressure on the lumbar spine. So you really want to make sure you're sitting tall. You might have to put a little blanket or some kind of lift underneath of you to help tilt that pelvis forward. I like to say, think about sticking your tail out as if you had a tail. So you're sticking your tail out. Now, other folks, their pelvis is naturally tilted forward, so don't go too far with this. But think about lengthening from the tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. So your spine is nice and long. You can rest your hands in your lap the first time. Inhale, lift your sternum. So think about sternum away from the navel. As you exhale, laying your belly onto your thighs, any amount. So you decide how far to fold. See if you can feel a stretch in your lower back. Now, some of you might be able to go deeper and even come down and touch your toes. Be mindful of your head. The head goes below the heart. For some folks, that will make you dizzy. So if you've got high blood pressure, really low blood pressure, or on any medication that might make you dizzy, then just be really mindful about putting your head below your heart. In that case, you can keep your head in line with your heart or just lift it up a little bit. Just make sure also that you're not putting a lot of pressure on your neck. So it's a lot to think about. Root down through your feet. You want it to feel good. So feel a stretch here in the lower back. And inhale, come all the way back up. And we'll start to move into hips and knees. So step the feet a little bit wider and just let your knees go in and out and feel this movement coming from your hips. Just warming up the knees. You can also let them go side to side, one knee at a time. I'm moving around here on my blanket, so I should take that out. I actually will take that out. Go ahead and bring your legs back in, and then we're going to start with the right leg, lifting that knee up so your foot lifts up off the floor. Take the knee out to the side and then back down. It's okay if the foot comes down to the floor. You can just slide it in, lift it up, out to the side, down, and in. So think about creating a circle with your knee. But as you're doing this, exhale to come in. Use your breath. Inhale to lift up, out to the side. Exhale down and in. Feel this in your hip socket. Lift up, out to the side, opening external rotation. Exhaling internal rotation. Last time, coming out to the side. Exhale, come in. We're going to reverse it. So now we're going to take it out to the side, lift up, bring the knee in and down. You can use your hand also to assist the movement. So not very easy to stretch or work our hips and our lower back when we're seated. It's not the best way or the easiest way to get into these places, but we're going to do the best we can. So let's pause. We're going to switch sides. So inhale, actually make sure you don't have any props in the way. Inhale and lift your left knee up. Take it out to the side, down, and in. Lift up, out to the side, down, and in. And you can let your heel just kind of glide on the floor, or you can also keep your leg lifted the whole time if you're able to. Notice that takes some quadricep strength. You're also using your core muscles. Next time we come in, let's reverse direction. Go out to the side, lift up, in and down. Out to the side, lift up, in and down. Out to the side, lift up, in and down. Let's just kind of take the legs back and forth, shake it out. You shake one leg at a time here, or maybe you can shake both legs at a time. You can lift those legs up. We're going to come into our knees. So we're going to warm up all the joints today. So we'll start again with the right knee. Take a deep breath. This time as you exhale, lift your knee up. As you inhale, we're going to extend that leg. Exhale, bend, bring it down. Repeat. Take a breath in. Exhale, lift your knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, bend. Bring it down. Breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bring it down. Take your time with the movement. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale. Exhale. So again, every time we're lifting that leg up, we're using our core muscles. Extend, bend, and bring it down. Other side. So take a breath in. This time as you exhale, we'll lift the left knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend, and bring it down. Lift it up. Extend. Bend. Bring it down. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bend. Inhale, bring it down. Let's do one more. And bring it down. All right, let's go ahead and get into our feet. So we're going to extend both legs now. If you have arms on your chair and you want to hold on to your arms or to the seat of your chair for balance, and then go ahead and take both legs out. Take a breath, and as you exhale, draw your belly in physically. Feel how that belly muscle helps lift your legs, and also your quads are working here big time. So let's flex our toes, spread the toes wide, and point. Make sure you're not rounding in your lower back. Flex your feet and point. Flex and point. Use your breath. Good. One more. Now flex your feet, and we're going to turn the soles of the feet towards each other. Don't go too far here. We don't want to overstretch the ankles. And then turn the feet out. So we're turning them in and out. Try to keep this movement in your feet around the ankles and not let it travel all the way up into your hips and your thighs. Turning the soles of the feet in, inversion, and eversion, out. We'll do that one more time. And then we're going to take it into circles. Circle the ankles. Anytime you need to pause and take a break, you can bring the feet down, lift them back up, continue. You can even do those foot exercises with the feet on the floor if it was too much to lift them up. And then reverse the direction of your circles. Go the opposite way. And if you're okay with it, if you need a break, bring your feet down. If you're okay with it, sit nice and tall. Take a breath in. Maybe reach your arms. Exhale, draw the belly in. Soften through your lower ribs. Take another breath in. Exhale, release everything back and down. So you want to sit a little forward on your chair for this next exercise. If we're way back, we're not going to be able to extend our leg. So we're going to sit forward on the seat, but make sure your hips are fully supported, and extend your right leg so that heel is on the floor. I'm going to show this sideways too. So heel on the floor, flex your foot, feel the muscles engaged. Make sure you don't lock your knee. So if you are hypermobile, you might need to keep a little bend in your knee. And then again, we want to make sure we're not rounding through our back. So that's another reason to sit forward. Inhale the arm up. As you exhale, hinge from your hip. Draw your belly in, bring your hand down towards your thigh or your shin. Or some folks might be able to touch their toes or their ankle, but don't force anything. Take a few breaths here, stretching the hamstring. So feel what you, or sense what you're feeling in the back of your right leg, as well as your lower back. Take a couple of breaths here. Watch our time. And then as you're ready, you can use this left hand on the left thigh or even both hands on that thigh to gently lift yourself back up. Walk that foot in, and we'll go to the other side. So extend your left leg, heel on the floor. Make sure you're not locking your knee. Flex your foot. So feel that muscle engagement. Inhale the left arm up. And as you exhale, hinging forward any amounts, bringing that hand wherever it lands. For some, it might be on the shin. You might be able to go deeper. Remember what I said about taking the head below the heart. So just be really mindful about what feels right for you. Feel that stretch in your hamstring. your lower back. Make sure your hips are supported. You don't feel like you're going to slide off your chair. Take a few deep breaths here. Remember that flow, that pace and rhythm of your breath. Pausing here, 2 more breaths. And then using that right hand on the right thigh, or even both hands, you can gently press down to lift yourself up. Walk that foot back in. Now, taking the feet a little bit wider apart. So we're going to get a little more to the hips now and more of a wide leg mountain pose. Couple options here. If you happen to have blocks, you can place them in between your legs a little bit forward. We're going to come into a forward fold. So I'm still sitting pretty forward in my chair. Take a deep breath in, hands to the thighs. As you exhale, hinge forward any amount. Maybe you can bring your hands down onto blocks. Some of you may have the flexibility to come farther forward. Remember, you could use these blocks on any height. If you don't have blocks, you might be able to reach the floor, or you might just stay with the hands on your thighs. So it's not necessary to have the blocks. It's just helpful. Take a breath in, lifting up out of the posture a little bit. Make sure, check in that your spine is long and we're not rounding in the lower back. And then as you exhale, you can come further down. Now, if you're okay with it and you don't get dizzy, then you can let the head come down. Some people might even be able to reach the back of their chair, right? It just depends on how flexible you are. It might feel good to let your head dangle, to shake your head, to just let it rest. Imagine stress coming down from the shoulders and the neck, releasing back into the earth. Good place to take a nice sigh breath. Exhale it out. And then when you're ready, gently walk your hands all the way back up, lifting all the way back up. Stay here for one more exercise. We won't need the blocks for this. Take a deep breath in to lift tall. And as you exhale, imagine taking your right shoulder toward your left knee. And you can actually take your right hand, gently press into your right thigh. Inhale, come all the way back up, and then exhale, take your left shoulder towards your right knee, gently pressing into the left thigh. Inhale, come all the way back up. We'll do that one more time. Exhale, right shoulder towards left, pressing into the right thigh. Inhale to come up, and exhale, left shoulder to the right. Gently pressing into that left thigh. And inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, walk those feet in. Let's inhale, both arms up. Exhale and forward fold any amount. Some of you might be able to touch your toes. Some of you might keep your hands on your thighs or your shins. Keeping your head lifted if you need to. Deep breath into the back body. Exhale it out. And then walking your hands back to the thighs, or you could take the arms out to the side. Inhale to come all the way back up, and exhale, hands to your heart. So let's do one more thing today. I wanted to stretch in the front of the thighs, which is a little difficult to do when we're seated. So here's where this blanket's going to come in handy. If you have one, if you don't, no worries. In fact, I'll give you something you can do, but I'm going to show it this way first. So we're going to walk our legs over to the left, if you're able to. If you don't have an arm on your chair, make sure your hips are fully supported on your chair. The right one might stick out a little bit. That's okay. But make sure you feel like you're steady and stable. And then we're going to step that right leg back. If you have a blanket or a towel for padding, you might be able to place your knee right on that blanket and come into a little side lunge. Make sure that your front knee is in line with your ankle. And then inhale that right arm up. As you exhale, you might even be able to reach over to the left and take a side bend. Breathe in through the right side of your body. Exhaling. And inhale to come up. Now you could hold that stretch a little longer if you want, but for the sake of time, I'm going to give you one other option here. If you like, you can tuck your back toe and straighten through that back leg and just feel how that changes the stretch a little bit. Stay tall and lifted in your torso. As you exhale, keep your belly firm. You might feel it a little bit deeper here in the iliopsoas muscle. Now, if you're not able to do this, again, you can just stay in the first stretch. And then as you're ready to release, step the back foot forward, come back to center. Before we go to the other side, if you don't have that padding, what you can try to do is step your right leg under your chair and drop the knee down. It's a little more difficult. You want to hold onto your chair. You're probably not going to get quite as deep a stretch, but that's sort of our alternative. You could also do a standing lunge, holding onto the back of your chair, but that's a stretch for another day. So for today, I'm just going to demonstrate this option. We'll walk the legs over to the right. Again, feel for making sure that your hips are supported. Stepping that left leg back. See if you can bring your knee to your blanket, untucking your toes, and lift tall. Make sure your front knee is supported by your ankle. You want your foot way out there. You don't want it underneath your chair. Should feel nice and solid, supported. Stable base. Always work from a stable base. Inhale that left arm up and then exhale. You can lean into this, creating a little side stretch. This is just a little add-on. If it feels good, you might stay for a breath or two, or 3, or 4. And then when you're ready to come out, inhale back up. You can just stay here or extend the back leg, tuck the toe under. Slightly different version of the stretch. Notice how you feel. Getting a little bit more into this iliopsoas. And then when you're ready, step the back foot forward and we'll walk back to center. And again, we don't need this blanket now. You may want to use the blanket to sit on or to cover with. Come back to your seated mountain pose, sitting tall. If you'd like to make yourself a little more comfortable now, you can. If you happen to have a ball or something that can support your back so that you're not slumping, you could do that and rest back against a pillow or a little ball or something. Maybe even a block might work. I don't know, man, it's too thick. So make yourself comfortable is the point. Root down through your feet, relax your arms and your shoulders. Make sure your head's not falling forward. We don't want to create stress and tension where we've already stretched. I invite you to close your eyes again or soften your gaze. Take a moment to briefly scan your body from your toes and all the little bones in your feet. Moving up the legs into your ankles, your calf muscles, knees, thighs, and hips. Notice any tension, tightness, or perhaps an openness. Feel your lower back, middle back, and the upper back as you breathe in, lengthening through your spine. As you exhale, imagine all the muscles around the spine softening. Breathe into your belly, into your ribs, and into your chest, feeling the front torso lift. As you exhale, soften the belly and soften the ribs and soften the chest and the shoulders. Let your arms be completely relaxed. Soften the elbows, the wrists, and the palms of the hands. Softening all the fingers and all the little bones in your hands. Soften the muscles of your face. Creating space between your teeth. Touch the tip of your tongue to your upper palate, just behind your upper teeth. And soften through your jaws. Soften the muscles of the brow and the forehead. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently blow the breath out through pursed lips. Breathing in through your nose. Gently blow the breath out through pursed lips. Continue to breathe that way. Exhaling through pursed lips, notice how that lengthens your exhale. Perhaps feel a gentle release and a sense of ease with each out breath. Breathing in a sense of fullness and vitality. And as you exhale, just imagine a sense of ease descending downward through the body from the crown of the head, through all of your sensory organs, your eyes, ears, nose and mouth. Ease descending down to the throat, the back of the neck, the collarbones, and the shoulders. Continuing to breathe in and out. And allowing a sense of ease to descend down through the ribs, all the intercostal muscles, softening between the shoulder blades and all the muscles of the back. Arms hanging by your sides like drapes. Hands resting. And a sense of ease descending down into the belly, into the hips, the thighs, knees and lower legs, and all the way down to the feet. Take 3 more breaths here. Exhaling all the way down to the soles of the feet. Begin to lift your toes. You wiggle your toes. Begin to lift and wiggle your fingers. Stretch through your fingers and bring your palms together at your heart. Begin to open your senses to the space around you, blinking your eyes open when you feel ready. Gently allowing your eyes to adjust to the light. And take a deep breath to lift your heart to your hands. And as you exhale, bowing forward, allow your mind to the heart. Take a moment to reflect on your practice. Notice any shift or change in your body, your mind, or your breath, your level of energy or your mood. I thank you for practicing with me today, and I wish you peace. Om Shanti. Be well.